fun watch CodesEmpire.
Welcome back to CodesEmpire, my friends. So, you're probably wondering what's going on. Well, I had to get back into doing something with my wife's Jeep Cherokee Hunter. So, why do I have JunkYard here? Well, the next part of this video is basically a JunkYard mod. Something I came up with for JunkYard, and I've been asked time and time again, how do you do it? How are you doing? Especially with where you're putting a wraith interior in, you can't run the battery tray like you would in a standard setup. So this video, I'm going to show you guys how to turn the battery tray sideways and install it basically. And I'll show you with what it looks like in JunkYard done, and then we'll quick do it on Hunter. So it shouldn't take us too long, and we'll be able to zip right through it and get it done. And it's crazy how simple it really is. So, huh? Yeah. Well, I know you don't totally know. So, but anyways, so I'm gonna jump up here and I'm gonna peel this open and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Okay. So we'll just get this in next to the camera for you. Hopefully, I don't block too much light. So I've already disconnected everything off of JunkYard. Pretty cool. Fun stuff. As you can see, here's our battery tray and it's turned sideways. Okay, in all reality, you've got one screw. Okay, that one right there. Okay, that comes in your kit, or if you've already got it ready to run, you're just taking, basically you're disconnecting your two little screws that are up under here, or in the case of a kit, you're just getting all your other screws put in, and then you'll just go ahead, you'll drill out a hole in this plate and kind of countersink it the best you can. If you got a countersink, it'll look real slick when you're done. I wasn't able to get mine as sunk down as I could just because I've just using two different drill bits to do it. And then basically just involves a few zip ties and a little bit of cutting. So it's kind of difficult to see everything down in there, but especially where this is completely loaded up, I'm going to show you inside the Jeep Cherokee Hunter. So we'll peel off the body. We'll just sit it right there for a minute. And we're actually going to just pop out the interior because it's not secured in yet. And basically, you can see by looking at this rig, let me just get all the loose stuff out of here so we don't have stuff falling everywhere. Okay, so you can see basically in this here, we're still going to utilize this plastic tray, which you can, if I remember right, I have to cut out this back side just back here for the wraith interior, just so that way it doesn't interrupt anything. But everything else I'll leave in there because then it gives me some support to zip tie to, and then also things if I want to mount things like you saw, for instance, like right here I've got ballooned the basically your controller for all the LED lights basically, so that's in there, and so I just mounted that up here. So that's basically it. We have to do some cutting here. Okay, so we'll actually cut these here, and we're going to reuse that hole. That comes stock. That's a stock hole. We're going to put our spacer down under there, which we don't have in right now. We've got all the rest of the spacers installed, so we'll put that spacer in place, and basically that's it. You'll be ready to rock and roll. You can put a little shoe goo. I used a little 2-part epoxy just because I was in the process of doing some stuff at the time. So that's basically it. To give you an idea, I mean, it's up to you which way you want to turn your servo tray, or your battery tray. It's totally up to you. If you go with this way, if I remember right, you'll be right close to the axial sign drilling, so that's kind of a helpful little deal. But yeah, basically, and I'll show you real quick. Let me grab the cutters and we'll nip these off here so we can get ready to start putting this together. So 1 second. Basically all I did is I cut pretty much about where the little deal drops down, and then this part goes on top when we're all done. So, you ready, bud?
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, we're just going to cut this. Snip. And snip. And there goes that piece. Cool. So that part's cut. Now you can see, basically that goes just like that. And so basically what we're doing when we do glue this down is we'll actually just glue these pieces down. And you can trim them. You can totally cut them off if you want. I kind of left them there. It gives you that little added support. Okay. You can see where we'll be at. So basically your battery tray completely rests against your shock hoops. Okay. So it's right up next to your shock hoops. And that also kind of gives it some support. And then you get ready to drill your holes. So let me grab a drill bit. Okay, now I've got the rest of my supplies. This is our screw that's going to go back right in here. Here's our spacer that's going to go underneath. Are you getting bored? You are? Well, you said you wanted to help me. There's this drill bit that we're going to drill this out with. So in this case, I'm using a 1/8 inch drill bit. And then I'm also going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit because I'm going to use that to kind of create my countersink. It works all right. It's not anything fancy because I don't have a countersink. Okay. And I've got my block of wood, so I've got some support to drill this thing out. So basically, we're just going to center this real quick. Okay, so it looks like we're about 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch in on our plate. So it's not the prettiest marks, but it works. And I know you can't totally, you might not be able to totally see it. See if I can reflect it off there a little bit so you can see it. Hopefully you might have an idea. But basically I just put myself a little X. X marks the spot. We're going to drill. So I'm just going to line this right up. And it's up to you. If you have a center punch, hit it. It'll make it a little easier keeping your drill bit in place. Guys, so basically all we're going to do now is we're going to take our tray. Let's grab my running away spacer. Put my spacer underneath the old plastic support. Okay. And we'll set that right there. Grab our hex head. So just take this and start to screw it in just like this. Can you do it?
Yes.
Okay, you do it. Take two hands. That way I help you kind of go faster. This is it. I mean, we get installed. I'm going to show you how to throw a couple zip ties on this real quick. And the battery tray will be done. And you can move on to the rest of your build and getting your stuff installed. And if you're one of those people that still like to use your straps, you'll still be able to. You might have to trim off the one side, maybe. I think the straps will fit fine. I don't use straps. I actually lay some Velcro down myself. All my batteries are Velcroed, so I just throw it on there and away I go. So it's not a real big deal, and it works pretty good. But yeah, your straps will just slip right in there next to the 2 zip ties, and you'll be set to go. As you can see, our JunkYard mod with our battery tray is on there. So overall, I mean, there's a little bit of pivot right now, but it's right against the shock hoops, and so the pivot you get is if you tweak it up and down. But like I said, we'll get our zip ties on there, and you'll see that go away real quick. Okay, here's our zip ties, and all we're going to do is we're just gonna slip them right through where your straps will go. Bring it right up into basically on the deal here for the battery tray, and I'm just gonna kind of put that one on, and we're gonna do the same on the other side because I don't want to totally pull them down tight yet. Want to get these in. What do you think?
That would be cool.
Yeah. So now that we're on, all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of tighten them together at the same time, just to kind of get my nice snugness I want. Thanks. Wow.
Thumb up.
I always love thumbs up. Okay, so now we're just going to trim off the excess. Done. Now look, with those two, basically, it's got no movement now. I mean, you really would have to torque on it. And throwing a battery on here, peeling one off if you do Velcro on it, whatever, is not going to cause you any issues. I've been doing it, I can't even tell you, countless times with JunkYard. So overall, works really good, pretty slick. And it's really up to you on these here. If you want to cut these off or if you want to glue them down, I'm going to glue them down myself. That's what I do. So I'm going to throw a little shoe goo on them later on when I get to that point, and it'll be ready to go. So that is, one second. Yeah. That is a JunkYard mod. So, and we're using it on Hunter, our Jeep Cherokee. So you can do this mod on any rig you really want to. At least I know it works great on all these SCX10s. As long as you don't change up anything else on this too much overall, that's going to work really slick, especially with your Wraith interior installed. I mean, because you need these all set up just like they are for the Wraith interior. And we'll show you that on an upcoming video. I've showed before how to install it on a previous JunkYard mod just here, but I'm actually going to show the application and actually installing it. So we'll get it all readied up. That way things will be ready for paint. So that is our JunkYard mod.
Thumb up.
So,
watching CodesEmpire.
Awesome. You can't say it better than that. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.